Hello everyone, my name is BGrim, and I'm assuming if you're clicking on this video, you're one of the 99.999% of people who don't know what God Summoner is. In this video, I'm going to tell you what God Summoner is and try and sell you on why I think it'll be an interesting story for you to read. The story follows Icarus, Lucifer, and their friends as they attend a military school and train for an impending world war, and they uncover a conspiracy that will change the entire context of their reality. Recently, a lot of my inspiration has come from Jujutsu Kaisen and, as you can tell, Chainsaw Man. And that's much more down to like the art than the story. That it really doesn't have anything in common with those two story-wise. It's kind of doing its own thing. But art-wise, there's been big inspirations, especially Chainsaw Man, because the manga has this really like aggressive horror, dark artwork, and as you can tell, I'm BGrim. I like the dark sort of aesthetic, So that's where a lot of the artistic inspiration came from, and then obviously Brian Man, as I said before. So I've kept comparing the series a lot to Naruto, and that's because the power system is very inspired by Naruto. See, it's because every character has a soul, and that soul allows them to channel a matter format, which is basically like the nature chakras in Naruto. Except that in God Summoner, you are only born with one matter format. So let's say you have electricity. That's what you're born with forever. You cannot change it. It doesn't become anything else. You can't learn to use fire. You can't use water. You are born with what you're born with. Now you can use it in many different ways because there's different rarities. Some people have the same matter formats, but everyone uses it differently, which is a lot like Naruto, which is why I say it's really inspired by it. It also, it sort of ended up being like JoJo with the summons. It never really meant to be like that. It was supposed to be more like Naruto, and it sort of ended up being more like JoJo to a lesser extent. The story takes heavily from Deus Ex and Cyberpunk by incorporating a lot of mechanical augmentations, but turning it into a more body horror, psychological horror thing than either of those series really tackle. And that plays a lot into the sort of depression and serious topics that God Summoner goes over. Some of the serious topics being, self-harm, depression, drug use. All these are very central to the plot of God Summoner. And it's really because those are things that have affected my life a lot. The story is very personal to me. And that's why these things are so integral to the plot. So I feel like if you are someone who struggled with depression or, any of these, drug use, self-harm, anything like that, this story, at least some parts of it, are going to speak to you, no matter who you are. Parts of it are going to speak to you. And that's why I feel like, even if you don't want to follow the story, even if you're, I understand the art doesn't look very good, and the way I present it isn't the best because I'm not able to publish it in comic form. I'm putting it online, so it's a web comic. I understand if you don't want to take it very seriously, but I think that just peeking in, maybe hearing some of the chatter about it, if anyone's talking about it, and just seeing some of the topics that are covered, if you suffer from those things, I think that it's going to really speak to you. And that's why I've really dedicated my life to this project and why I want to really spread it to people. I think it's something that speaks to a lot of people. Second YouTube channel, BGrim and go to the playlist. You'll see a God Summoner Season 1 OST. This OST was made by me. It is a companion soundtrack that goes along with the comic. So at the top of the comic pages, every once in a while, it'll tell you what song is playing. And this just goes along. You can listen to the song as you're reading the comic, or as you're looking at the page, to sort of get that feeling of like the extra action. Because I've been producing music since high school, so I figure it would be nice to make a soundtrack, because I feel like it would fit the anime manga aesthetic. So that's a big part of it too throughout the comic. But I want to make a promise to every single viewer watching this video, okay? I want you guys to clip this so you can hold it against me. Every single chapter of God Summoner, this is a promise, every single chapter of God Summoner will look better than the last. That's a promise to every single one of you. And I want you to clip this part of the video. If any of you have any plans to join the Discord or to continue, just peeking in here and there to God Summoner, I'm going to try to stick to like 3 pages a week. So if you want to just peek in, clip this. I want you to clip this. Every single chapter of God Summoner, every single one will look better than the last. If it can be major changes, maybe I'll draw the faces better. I'll finally learn how to fucking do that. Maybe the anatomy will be better, or the detail will be better, or the backgrounds, or the text bubbles, something, anything. It will look better every single chapter. I practice every day to try and improve, okay? And it's going to look better every chapter until it eventually looks as good as Chainsaw Man or Jujutsu Kaisen or any of those, legendary manga, okay? That's a promise I'm making to every single person who's going to be reading the comic. I don't want to say fan, because that's kind of weird, that's like kind of egotistical. But anyone who's going to follow the comic, this is a promise to you. Please click this, and every time I upload a chapter, I want you to spam this to my Discord, spam this in the Discord, this clip of me promising you every chapter will be better than the last, artistically and narratively. And that brings me to the end. Thank you for watching this. This is my first kind of video doing this, and my first video on the channel. But I plan to do plenty more. I'm going to be doing a series called World of God Summoner, where I sort of go into detail about like the technical aspects of the world, like, this is the tech that the world uses, or this is how the, mechanics of the spirits work and all that. And of course that'll be explained in the comics, but I want to have a little series where, you can get some of this exposition that isn't going to be as explained thoroughly in the comic, and because I don't want to exposition dump, But I also plan to do some video essays. I'm working currently on a Fallout 4 video about why it shouldn't have voice acting. It's a really long video, so that might take a while, but it's going to be up here. So thank you for watching this. You can go to my link tree and find my other stuff. There you'll see links to the DeviantArt, where you can find all my art, my Instagram. I also put a lot of more edited content on my Instagram and onto my beat channel, which is sort of my original channel, BGrim Beats. You'll see all the music that is played throughout this video, and any videos I make, all the music is made by me. So you can go to BGrim Beats, check those out, or go to my Instagram. I do a lot of edited stuff with my music, or, my art. So you can go to the Tapas to read God Summoner, that would be like the best sort of place to read it. DeviantArt is the one that I've been keeping an eye on the most, but Tapas is kind of the most professional. So thank you for watching this video, and I hope you guys read God Summoner and enjoy it.